Okay, and under multiple service queuing model, the Kendall's notation is given by M/M/C. Now the rest of the things as it is infinity for your arrival, and the where the service discipline is first in, first out. The only change is C, which indicates it's a multiple server. Okay. Now, in case of arranging the server, please remember here in this situation, we are going to consider only a single queue. Okay, but the number of servers we are going to consider two or more, and the arrangement of the servers we are going to consider in a parallel way. So we'll have parallel servers serving a single queue, and it will be based on first in or first come first served basis. All the servers will be which will be given will be arranged in a parallel manner. Okay, that is what we are going to consider while looking at this multiple server queuing model. Now let us go ahead and see some points. So the customers arrive in a single queue, but are served by two or more servers, which are arranged in parallel to render the service. There are some assumptions which we are going to consider. The first assumption will be that server will be in parallel form. Okay, and if we consider that number to be k, okay, a single server, single queue is going to serve the customers based on first come and first served basis. Now, all this service facilities or the servers will provide the same service at the same given rate. So the rate of service will be indicated by mu, and it will be the same throughout all the servers. So we cannot say that at one particular server the service is faster compared to the other. So we are going to assume that it is the same across all the servers. Okay, and it is denoted by mu. Next is the arrival. The arrival, as we have been seeing in queuing model, the arrival will follow the Poisson probability distribution, and it will have a constant arrival rate lambda. So we have a constant arrival rate lambda, and while the service times are exponentially distributed. Okay, the same one which we followed in case of a single queue or single server. Next, the population, as I've already shown in the model, will be infinite. There's infinite population, and but the place of for the queue or the area of the queue will be considered as finite here. The arrival rate, that is your lambda, will always be less than the combined average service rate of all the servers. Now, the combined service rate of all the servers is given by k mu. Okay, k multiplied by mu, that will be the average service rate of all the servers or all the channels. Okay, so these are some assumptions which we are going to consider while solving the multiple server queuing model problems. Okay, there are many formulas as we also saw in a single server. And the first formula, let us see the formulas. I want you all to note down, and especially the one for P0, which is very important because the property that there are no customers in the system, P0, is used in all the other functions as well. So whether you are supposed to find out the value of the probability that there are no customers in the queue or not, the first thing and the most important thing is to calculate the value of P0 so that I can make use of this, you can say, probability in the other formulas or other functions as well. We are going to consider K as the number of servers, okay, lambda as my mean arrival rate, and mu as my mean service rate at each server. Please remember, this is very important, at each server. Right? If you take this, then the property that the server is busy, that is the utilization factor, is given by your rho equal to lambda divided by k mu. Okay, K multiplied by mu will give me the total of the mean service rate of all the servers. So the utilization factor, rho. Now in single server, it was lambda by mu. And in case of multiple server, it is lambda by K mu. Okay. So this is the basic and the simplest formula which you are seeing here. Now coming to the most important formula of all the, we can say, formulas in multiple server queuing model is P0. That is the property that there are no customers in the system. Okay. Now that is given by a big formula like this, which is P0 equal to, now remember there are two parts in this function. The first part is your summation part, which is given in the curly bracket here. So we have the summation starting from I equal to 0 up to K minus 1, where K is your number of servers, 1 upon I factorial into bracket lambda by mu to the power I. This is my first part. Plus 1 upon K factorial multiplied by lambda by mu to the power K, again multiplied by 1 upon 1 minus lambda by K mu, bracket close. And all this in a square bracket to the power minus 1. Okay, it is a big formula and it is the most important formula of all. As I said, if you make a mistake in this formula while doing the calculation, all your other answers will be wrong. Okay, so be very careful when you're solving the problem and calculating the value for P0. Please note the formula down and be careful while solving this problem. Next one is the property that there are n units, or you can say customers, in the system. Now again, there are two options in this. When the number of customers are less than or equal to the number of servers, that's one condition. And the other condition is if the number of customers or the units are greater than the number of servers. So there are two formulas which we can use here. The first one is when the value of n is either less or equal to the number of servers, which is given by P0 multiplied by lambda by mu to the power n divided by n factorial. Okay, as you can see, P0 is used here as well. And if the value of n is greater than k, in that case, we have to make use of the other formula, which is P0 multiplied by lambda by mu to the power n divided by, now instead of n factorial here, we are going to have k factorial into k to the power n minus k. Okay. The next one, the average waiting time of a customer in the system. That means the time which is taking or the time in the queue plus the time for the service together is given by Ws, which is mu into bracket lambda by mu to the power k divided by k minus 1 factorial into k mu minus lambda to the power 2, or you can say square. This whole thing is multiplied by P0, that is the probability that there are no customers in the system, plus 1 by mu. Okay. Then comes the average waiting time of a customer in the queue, which is given by WQ. Now, if you notice, the function of Ws and WQ, the first part is the same. Okay. The extra part or the additional part in Ws is plus 1 by mu. Okay. The rest of the function remains the same. So here we have WQ equal to mu into bracket lambda by mu to the power k divided by k minus 1 factorial into k mu minus lambda square multiplied by P0. If you want, we can also make use of the other function ws minus 1 by mu. Okay, as I told you, 1 by mu is the additional, you can say, part in case of average waiting time of a customer in the system. So it is very much interrelated. Let us see the average number of customers in the system. Okay, now this is given by ls. So ls is equal to lambda mu into bracket lambda by mu to the power k divided by k minus 1 factorial. And you might have seen this denominator k minus 1 factorial and k mu minus lambda bracket square is coming again and again in all the functions. This whole thing multiplied by p0 plus lambda by mu. If you want, you can also make use of the Little's formula, ls equal to lambda into ws. Your ws is nothing but your average waiting time of customer in the system. Next is the average number of customers in the queue, which is given by lq, sorry. LQ is again lambda mu into bracket lambda by mu divided by k minus 1 factorial into bracket k mu minus lambda square p0, which can also be written as ls minus lambda by mu. Or you can make use of the Little's formula, LQ equal to lambda multiplied by the average waiting time of customer in the queue. Okay, that is WQ. The next formula is the average number of customers in a non-empty queue. That is, if the queue is formed, that is the queue length is given by L omega. Okay, L omega is equal to lambda divided by k mu minus lambda, a very small function compared to the others. Okay, then we have one more function which gives you the average waiting time of a customer in the queue if he has to wait. Okay, which is given by W omega, which is equal to 1 divided by k mu minus lambda. Okay, so these are your functions. Basically, this covers all the functions which can be used to do the calculations for your multiple server queuing model. Okay, and you need to practice all this. Remember the functions, because it's once you know the functions, solving the problems is very easy. You need to be very good in doing the calculations. Let us take one simple example where I'll try to cover all these formulas which is required. So note down this formula. Sorry, the problem. So this is a problem given to us. We have Omega Auto Service Station as 5 mechanics, each of whom can service a motorbike in 2 hours on an average. The motorbikes are registered at a single counter and then sent for servicing to different mechanics. Motorbikes arrive at the service station at an average rate of 2 per hour. Now, assuming the motorbike arrivals are Poisson distributed and the servicing time are distributed exponentially, we are supposed to do some calculations. There are around 10 questions here. The first one is to find the probability that each mechanic is busy. That is your utilization factor. Next one, the probability that the system is idle. There's no one in the system or no bike for any service. So P0, that is what we are going to find out here. Using P0, we'll get to know the value of the probability that the system is idle. Then we have probability that there shall be 3 motorbikes in the station. Then there shall be 8 bikes in the station. Then expected number of bikes in the service station. Now, in this case, when we say expected number of motorbikes in the service station, we are talking about the line or the queue in the system, that is LS. Okay. Then comes expected number of motorbikes in the queue, that is LQ. And seventh question is average waiting time in the queue. Please note this down. You can take a screenshot of this so that I can give you the next three questions. The next three questions, the eighth question is to find the average time spent by a motorbike in waiting and getting served. That means getting waiting time in the system, that is WS. That is what you're going to find here. And then the average number of motorbikes in a non-empty queue. Now, when we use this term non-empty queue, okay, we are going to make use of the function L omega. Okay, that is lambda by k mu minus lambda. That is the function which we are going to use here. And finally, there's the last question. It is said that is it advisable? So there is a question there to include another mechanic providing the same service at the same rate, given that the mechanics are paid ₹5 per hour and the cost of ill will treated by waiting customer is estimated to be ₹12 per hour per customer. Now, when we are talking about the cost of ill will treated, that is your average, you can say, queue length. Okay, that is average queue length or number of customers in the system multiplied by the cost here, that is 12. That'll give me the total cost of this value here. Plus, we have to add the cost for the mechanics which we are paying for the service. Okay, after finding out the total cost with you can say how many mechanics we had, 5 mechanics, I think. And if we add one more, so the value of K, initially the number of server K will be 5. So we have to do the calculation for K with 5 and then for K with 6 when the server is increased by 1. And if the cost increases or decreases, depending on that, we can give an advice whether we can add another mechanic or we can stick to 5 mechanics as per the current situation. Clear? So please start, you can say, solving the problem to just give you the initial, you can say, starting point. Let us see some values here. Your mean arrival rate, lambda, is given as 2 motorbikes per hour. And as your average service time is 2 hours, okay, your mean service rate, that is your mu per server, will be 1/2 bikes per hour. Okay, that is mu equal to 1/2 motorbikes per hour. So these are two values, very important values. And the value of K is already known. The number of servers, that is the mechanics in this case, is equal to 5. So using these 3 values, first thing you do is calculate the utilization factor, the value of rho. And what's the function of rho? The function is lambda by k mu. You can put it in the chat once you get the answer. Yes, anyone with the answer? There's something in the chat. Okay, 0.8 is given by Advait. That is the value of my rho. Okay, that means each mechanic is busy for at least 80% of its time. Okay, 80% of its time, you can see the mechanics are busy. Okay, Saurav has given 48 minutes. Saurav, you need not do the calculation in terms of minutes. Okay, you can just mention in percentage. Once you get the value of 0.8, we can mention that 80% of the time the mechanics are busy. Okay, so don't convert this into minutes, please. So coming to the next one, the next one is very important when we are doing the calculation of P0. Okay, so let us see that. So the first one, here we have P0, that's the answer. And hence we can say that each mechanic is busy for at least 80% of his time. Now, if we consider one day to be 8 hours, then we can make use of this 80% out of 8 hours. And if you want, you can mention the minutes as well, but it is not required. Fine. Now, going to the next question, where we are supposed to find out the property that the system shall be idle. That means there are no bikes in the system. Now, to do the calculation, we need to find out the value of P0 here. Okay, P0, the function is this function here. As I said, there are two parts of this function. Please do the calculation for this first part and then the second part. And then you can perform the inversion of this. 1 divided by this whole thing will give me the value. Okay, there's some calculation. Okay, third, which is the third one? 0.140. Okay, Advait, what is this third question? Third question is probably, are you giving the answer for the third question here? 3 bikes, okay. You're mentioning 3 bikes. For the third one, probably that there shall be 3 bikes in the system. That is, the value of n is 3. What is the value of P0, Advait? Did you find out the value of P0? Okay, without calculating the value of P0, how can you get the value for the next question? The value for P0, please, that is more important. First, as I told you, P0 will be used in all my functions. Okay, so it is 0.013. That's right. I'll just show you the calculation on your screen here. So if I do the calculation for the first part, okay, so if I represent all the values, your value of k minus 1 will be 4. I'll start with I equal to 0. So I have to perform the summation of all these factors, that is 1 upon I factorial into round bracket. Now lambda is given as 2 and mu is 0.5. This bracket to the power I. Now if I take this whole thing, it will be 1 upon 0 factorial into 2 by 0.5 will give me 4. So 4 to the power of 0 plus 1 upon 1 factorial, 4 to the power 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial, 4 to the power 2 and so on. Okay. Now doing that calculation, I'll get this whole thing. So if you expand this summation, it should be like this. Okay. Now 0 factorial is always 1 and any number to the power 0 is also 1. Okay, so this will be 1 plus 4 plus this is taken as 16 by 2, then 64 by 6 and so on. And this, the first part of this function gives me the value 34.333. Okay. Now using this value plus, we have to still do the calculation for the second part after the plus sign. Let us do that. I'll show you that as well, which is 1 by 5 factorial into round bracket 2 by 0.5. You can make use of this as 4 as itself. So 4 to the power 5 into 1 by 1 minus 0.8, okay, which gives you 42.667. Now, if you add this up, the whole thing to the power minus 1, your minus 1, that is nothing but 77 to the power minus 1 is given by 1 by 77. Okay, inverse of 77. That gives you 0.013. Clear? Now, once we get this value of P0, I can find out the value of Pn. Okay. Now, when we are doing the calculation for Pn, the first thing we need to check is whether the value of n is less than or greater than k. Okay. If it is less than k, now in this case, when we say the third question is probably that there shall be 3 motorbikes. So n, the value of n is 3, which is less than 5. So in this case, I'm going to make use of the formula P0 multiplied by lambda by mu to the power n divided by n factorial. Okay. So if I use that function, let us see the value here. I'm going to get the answer 0.139. Okay. Please note down the calculations as well, how it has been done. And in case of the second one, the fourth one, where the value of n is 8, which is greater than k, okay, which is greater than k, the formula will change now. Now, instead of using n factorial in the denominator, I'll be using k factorial multiplied by k to the power n minus k. Okay, that is the function which I'll be using to perform the calculation for the next one, where the value of n is greater than k, that is 5. So this is the calculation here you can see, and the answer for this is coming as 0.057. So those who have not done the calculation, please go through it, because you need to have some idea of how to do the calculation. If you make a mistake here in the calculation, directly you'll get 0. There won't be any marks for giving the formula. The answers are more important. Of course, while checking the answer, they are also going to check the steps which is involved. Whether you are writing directly the answer, even that will not be considered as the correct answer. Okay, so calculations need to be done properly and need to be shown while solving the problem. Clear? Anyone who solved the next question? The value of LS, that is your expected number of bikes in the service station or in the system. LS. Anyone? I'll wait for some time for the answers to come. Okay, the formula which we'll be using, LS, lambda mu into bracket, lambda by mu to the power k divided by k minus 1 factorial into k mu minus lambda square into P0 plus lambda by mu. Any other answer? Anyone? Find the answer, you can do the calculation like this, and the answer which we are getting here is 6.22. Okay, the answer is coming to 6.22. Okay, using this value of LS, it is easy to do the calculation for LQ. If I'm using the function LQ equal to LS minus lambda by mu, and as you know, lambda by mu is 4. So 6.22 minus 4 will give me 2.22. That is the answer for your LQ. So LQ, once you get the value of LS, getting the value of LQ is easy. The next question, the seventh one, is the average waiting time in queue, that is WQ. Now, even in this case, make use of the function LQ equal, WQ equal to LQ divided by lambda. If you remember the function for LQ, I had mentioned LQ equal to lambda into WQ. So I can make use of that function and reverse it to get WQ equal to LQ divided by lambda. So that function will help me get the value of average waiting time in the queue. Okay, any answer for the seventh question? WQ waiting time in the queue is equal to the length of the queue divided by lambda. So 2.22 divided by 2. Which will give me 1.11. Now this is in terms of hours, okay, because the time period used in the question is mentioned as hours. Okay, so when you get this answer 1.11, you have to mention in hours. So the answer is 1.11 hours. And similarly, if you want to find out the average waiting time or time spent by the motorbike in waiting in the queue and getting served, that means WS, waiting time in the system, can be written as LS divided by lambda again. So that is 6.22 divided by 2. So again, it is easy here. That answer will come as 3.11, again in hours. Last two questions are remaining. Let us see the average number of motorbikes in a non-empty queue. And as I told you, whenever you hear this word, non-empty queue, okay, and we have to find out the length, average number of motorbikes, you have to make use of L omega function. So L omega equals to lambda divided by K mu minus lambda. That is going to give me the answer as 4. Okay, so the average number of motorbikes in a non-empty queue is 4. Now comes the last question, where we are supposed to think about whether we can add one more mechanic or not. Now that is based on the total cost. So to do the calculation for the total cost, what will be the total cost per hour? It will be the cost incurred on mechanic providing the service per hour plus the cost of ill will, that is per hour, which is given to you. So especially when you are doing the calculation here, if you remember, the number of mechanics are 5 and the wages per hour given is also 5. So 5 multiplied by 5, that will give me 25. Plus, now when we have to do the calculation for the cost of ill will, that will be the average number of motorbikes in the system per hour multiplied by the per hour ill will cost per customer. Now that value is given as 12 rupees they have given. So now when we have to do the average number of motorbikes that is in the system, that will be LS. And we have found out the value of LS, which is I think 6.22. Okay, so 6.22 multiplied by 12. Do this calculation. So 25 plus 6.22 multiplied by 12, that will give me the total cost as of today. That means with 5 mechanics. So if you do the calculation, the answer is going to come as 99.64. Okay. Now, once you get this value, you're supposed to change the values of your K and recalculate the value of P0 and LS. Okay. Reason being, if I add one more mechanic, the value of K will become 6. And if the value of K is 6, I'm getting P0 as 0.017 and LS as 4.58. The cost is coming to 84.96. That means we should add one more mechanic. Okay, because it's going to reduce your total cost. So that's the suggestion we can give. We have very less time, less than 1 minute left. And that's the last answer for today. And if you want, we can take more problems in the next session as well. But the third unit is over as of now.